You already know something is wrong with your thinking. You've known for a while, but instead of fixing it, you've been managing it, journaling around it, meditating beside it, taking the edge off with whatever ritual makes you feel like you're doing the work without actually doing the work. That's the comfortable lie most people live inside. And the reason you keep living inside it is because no one has ever handed you the actual instrument, the sharp one, the one that cuts. What you're about to receive isn't a philosophy lecture. It's a precise cognitive tool, forged over 2,000 years ago, that a Princeton-trained psychiatrist named Aaron Beck essentially rediscovered in the 1960s and repackaged as cognitive behavioral therapy. Beck himself acknowledged the debt. He pointed directly back to the Stoics. The lineage is documented. And yet somewhere between ancient Athens and your therapist's waiting room, the blade was dulled. The urgency was removed. The dangerous, demanding core of it was sanded smooth so it wouldn't frighten anyone. By the time this ends, you will own the original instrument, not the copy, not the softened version sold in paperback. The real thing, with all its weight. Seneca was not a calm man who had figured it out. That is a myth. He was a man with chronic, violent asthma attacks, so severe that in his letters he describes them as rehearsals for death. Each episode left him genuinely uncertain whether he would draw another breath. He was exiled to Corsica for 8 years, isolated, politically destroyed, separated from everyone he trusted. And then he was pulled back to Rome to manage a teenager who was slowly becoming a monster, Nero. Every morning Seneca woke up as the handler of an emperor who was growing more unpredictable, more dangerous, more capable of ordering his execution on a whim. Seneca lived with sustained, ambient dread as a daily condition of existence. And out of that specific pressure, he did not write about peace. He wrote about the mechanics of thought. He wrote about the gap between what happens and what you decide it means. He wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Not as a comfort, as a surgical observation about how the mind manufactures its own torment and then mistakes the product for the truth. That is the origin of CBT. Right there, that sentence. Beck would later call it cognitive distortion. The Stoics called it something else, and the word matters. The word is phantasia. In Greek, it means the mental impression, the automatic image or interpretation that rushes into your mind the moment something happens. Modern self-help has taken this concept and made it soft. It talks about reframing and perspective shifts, as though you're adjusting the tint on a photograph. But the Stoics were describing something violent. A phantasia wasn't a gentle perspective. It was an ambush. It was the mind's first, often wrong, interpretation landing on you with full emotional force before you had any say in the matter. The Stoics said you have one job. Do not consent to it automatically. Do not fuse with the first impression. Interrogate it. They called this the discipline of assent, synkatathesis. You have the power to withhold agreement from your own mind's first draft. Modern CBT calls this cognitive restructuring. The Stoics called it your most fundamental freedom, and they meant it with a ferocity that no therapist's worksheet has ever quite captured. Here is the first principle. Every emotional response you have is a two-step process, not one. Something happens. Then your mind assigns a meaning. The suffering lives in the second step, not the first. You are not reacting to reality. You are reacting to your interpretation of reality. This sounds obvious. It isn't, because your interpretations feel like facts. They arrive dressed as the truth. The work is learning to catch them at the door before they move in. Here is the second principle. and this is the one you are almost certainly getting wrong right now. Today, this week, you have been treating your anxious or distorted thoughts as problems to be eliminated. You want them gone. You meditate to make them quieter. You distract yourself until they fade. That is exactly backwards. The Stoic method, and the method Beck eventually codified, is not suppression. It is examination. You do not fight the thought. You cross-examine it. You hold it up and ask, what is the actual evidence for this? What would I say to someone else who believed this thought as a fact? Is this thought serving the truth or serving my fear? Elimination is the goal of avoidance. Examination is the instrument of freedom. One keeps the wound infected, the other cleans it. If this work is reaching something real in you, let it anchor. A quiet agreement with an idea costs nothing. Give it one. And if you want to keep receiving tools with this kind of edge, the choice to stay close is yours to make. Here is the third principle, drawn from Aristodemus, the Stoic philosopher who served Augustus Caesar and spent his life studying how to keep a soul intact inside a ruthless, status-obsessed environment. He observed something that should stop you cold. Most people's thoughts are not actually their own. They are absorbed. They are the ambient values and judgments of whatever culture, family, or social group formed them. You think you are thinking. You are mostly replaying. The beginning of genuine cognitive freedom is the terrifying moment you realize that the loudest voice in your head might be borrowed, and that borrowed voices rarely tell the truth about your specific, irreplaceable life. Marcus Aurelius buried 8 of his children, not metaphorically. He stood at 8 small graves. He continued to rule. He continued to write. He continued to interrogate his own mind with the same unflinching instrument, even while grief was a physical weight on his chest. He wrote his notes, not for publication, for himself, as daily cognitive training, as proof that the discipline does not grant immunity from suffering. It grants the capacity to remain present and functional inside suffering, without lying to yourself about what it is. That is the instrument, not peace, presence, not the absence of pain, the refusal to add imaginary layers on top of real pain. And here is where I will leave you, with the question the Stoics never fully resolved, the one Aaron Beck's entire clinical career circled without landing on, the one that lives in the space between the method and the person using it. If every interpretation your mind produces can be questioned, examined, and revised, if no thought is automatically trustworthy, then at what point does honest self-examination end and relentless self-doubt begin? When does the discipline of interrogating your own mind become its own form of mental torment? The Stoics held that reason was the path to freedom. But what happens when reason turns on the one wielding it? I don't know the answer. I'm not sure anyone does. And I suspect you don't either. But something in you already knows exactly what I mean.